Hello, welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Fidelia Aguncha. Police in Borno State have confirmed that 3 people were killed by a suspected Boko Haram suicide bomber on Monday. The state police spokesperson Joseph Kwaji, who confirmed the incident, also said 17 persons were injured when the bomber detonated himself at a crowded suburb in the state's capital, Maiduguri. Kwaji said the police has deployed explosive ordnance device and patrol teams to the scene for an on-the-spot assessment. The victims of the attack have also been evacuated to the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital. The police also gave the assurance that normalcy had already been restored in the area. Meanwhile, as part of efforts to end the Boko Haram insurgency, the Nigerian military has announced the reintegration of 95 surrendered Boko Haram terrorists in Gombe State. The former terrorists were reintegrated through a special military operation Safe Corridor aimed at rehabilitating surrendered terrorists back into the society. The program was handled by the Nigerian Army Wing charged with the responsibility of de-radicalizing, rehabilitation, and reintegration. The ex-fighters were also taken through a training on how to develop business ideas.
In this hall are 95 Boko Haram fighters who have given up their arms and surrendered to the Nigerian military. After months of an intensive special life training program under the military, the ex-fighters are now on their way to be fully reintegrated into the society. The program, which is part of the military's operation Safe Corridor, includes training on various business ideas, including shoemaking, barbing, perfume and liquid soap production, amongst others.
The clients in the course of the DRR program have been exposed to rigorous religious counseling by carefully selected clerics from federal government institutions and taken through rudimentary formal education and recreational activities like sports and indoor games. They were also introduced to vocational training in barbing, leatherworks, cosmetology, farming, while some funds and tools are being provided for them to start a new and meaningful life.
The ex-combatants were enthusiastic about their skill acquisition program and are looking forward to practice their trades after discharge from the camp. They are to further their training with National Directorate of Employment in their states of residence after they must have been discharged from the camp in order to enhance smooth reintegration into the society.
There are 254 clients in the camp undergoing the de-radicalization, rehabilitation, and reintegration program, among which are the first set of 95 who have completed their program and now ready to be transferred to their respective state authorities for reintegration into the larger society.
As proof of the training, each ex-fighter is presented with a certificate of completion by the governor of Gombe State, Ibrahim Dakwambo. He charged the ex-fighters to embrace peace and move on with their lives.
I want to assure members of the society that this process that we are witnessing today is as a result of the understanding of the current situation we found ourselves in the Northeast. I believe, and everybody knows, that the solution to this problem is not force. The solution is not war. The solution is not gun. But there must be a dialogue, there must be understanding, there must be give and take. And people and government we are ready to give and take so that we will bring peace, harmony, and make our society a better society as it is today.
The ex-combatants are grateful for the intervention of the federal government. They are also pleading for the forgiveness and acceptance into the society.
We appeal to the society to forgive us all the wrongs we have done and accept us as normal human beings. We are sincerely sorry and promise never to go back to our former lifestyle. We will do our best to cultivate peace at all times.
Nigeria has been fighting Boko Haram for about 9 years. Over 20,000 people have been killed in the insurgency, which has ravaged most parts of the country's northeast. Millions have also been displaced by the war. The government hopes a program like this would encourage other insurgents still carrying out terror attacks to lay down their arms, embrace peace, and rebuild their lives all over again.
The police in Benue State say they have arrested 4 suspected herders for allegedly attacking Olosu village in Okpoku local government area of the Middle Belt State. A statement from the police said the attack, which happened on Monday, also led to the death of 15 persons, mostly women and children. The statement by the Benue State Police Command spokesperson Moses Yamu said the attack is believed to be a reprisal by the herdsmen following disagreements between some youth and the herdsmen. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has solicited the support of traditional rulers to solve the farmers-herders crisis in the country. The president, who was speaking at a meeting with traditional rulers in Jalingo, Taraba State, assured that the federal government will continue to strengthen relations with traditional institutions in the country in order to find lasting solutions to the herdsmen and farmers' crisis. He said the ongoing effort to restore peace would require the full support and commitment of all traditional institutions, especially in appealing to their followers to respect the dignity of life. Clashes between farmers and herdsmen in the country have resulted in the death of over 150 people in just 2018 alone. To bring an end to the violence, the Nigerian military last month launched a new operation tagged Cat Race, which will end on March 31, 2018. The death toll in Nigeria's Lassa fever outbreak has hit a record 110, representing the worst outbreak in the country's history. The new figure, which was confirmed by the country's Center for Disease Control, represents a 23.8% fatality rate at 1,121 suspected cases in 2018 alone. The report says 7 new deaths were confirmed between February 26 and March 4th from 35 cases within the same time frame. 2 health workers were among the 35 confirmed cases, while 16 health workers have been affected overall, with 4 deaths in Ebonyi and Kogi. Since the outbreak began in 2018, 18 states have been affected, including Edo, Ondo, Bauchi, Nasarawa, Ebonyi, Anambra, Benue, Kogi, Imo, Plateau, Lagos, Taraba, Delta, Osun, Rivers, FCT, Gombe, and Ekiti State. 85% of all confirmed cases are from Edo State, which makes up 44%, Ondo State, which makes up 25%, and Ebonyi State, which makes up 16%. Meanwhile, Nigeria's Minister of Health, Isaac Adewale, has inaugurated the inaugurating governing board of parastatals, agencies, and institutions under the ministry. At a brief ceremony on Tuesday, Adewale warned the chairmen and members of the governing boards against undue interference in agencies and institutions they have been appointed to oversee. He explained that the governing boards were creation of statutes and their responsibilities were to give policy direction to the management of institutions.
As chairmen and members of the governing boards, you have the primary responsibility to perform, which involves calming down frayed nerves, resolving industrial disharmony, and ensuring an end to incessant strikes by trade unions in the health sector. We should make our hospitals better known for efficient and effective service delivery rather than for lack of such. Our ministry will support in any way to enhance resolutions where necessary. It is the expectations of this administration that each board will put in place measures that will strengthen the resource base of your agencies and institutions and increase internally generated revenue and efficiency of the use of these resources in line with financial regulations. Procurement and contracts are not your functions, and you are advised to keep strictly to the provisions of the Procurement Act 2007, as provided by the Bureau of Public Procurement.
The decision of the federal government to constitute the Board of Parastatals is directly related to its desire to implement the good governance agenda. We promise to contribute our own quota to that agenda so that Nigeria can take its rightful place in the Committee of Modern Nations. We want to assure you that with your support and cooperation, we will discharge our functions to the glory of God and for the benefit of all Nigerians.
Government at all levels have been advised to take the issue of the girl-child education seriously, especially in the northeast of Nigeria, as means of fighting issues of insecurity, child trafficking, and extremism. Former judge of the Supreme Court, Justice Clara Ogunbiyi, made a call at a book launch in her honor to mark her retirement from the Apex Court. Ogunbiyi said it is time premium is placed on girl-child education as a means to end insurgency in the Northeast.
No girl child should underrate herself because she is equally capable like her male counterpart. The present state of affairs is highly deplorable, even in the 21st century, for the girl child in contemporary Nigeria. For instance, the girl child trafficking to Europe and other parts of the world is heartbreaking and constitutes a major concern. Similarly, the dastardly abduction of the girl child from their boarding school is deeply worrying and requires serious attention for better security. It is a matter of common knowledge that the girl child is more at risk and vulnerable, especially with the incident of the Chibok and Dapchi school girls.
Former judge of the Supreme Court, Aloma Mukhtar, decried the spate of favoritism and godfatherism in the appointment of judicial officers in the country. She warned of their consequences if the trend is not checked urgently.
I will at this juncture revisit the issue of lobbying and, in addition, favoritism and godfatherism in the appointment of judicial officers. It is sad that we allow this rising culture of lobbying to influence appointments in the judiciary. If we are to revive what held sway in the past, i.e. maintain a strong and competent judiciary, then merit should be our watchword. Lobbying, favoritism, and godfatherism should be discouraged and discarded, as they lead to the fall in the standard, and instead of enhancing the institution, they devalue and weaken it because of incompetence of the personnel. These practices negate the principles of justice and breed indiscipline.
The Senate has summoned the Minister of State Aviation, Hadi Sirika, to appear before it. The resolution follows a motion over the recent air mishaps and near fatalities in the country. A federal lawmaker, Senator Benga Ashafa, in his motion observed that there were 2 air mishaps in February 2018 alone. One of them, he says, involved a plane belonging to Dana Airline, which overshot the runway upon landing at the Port Harcourt Airport. The conference report of both chambers of the National Assembly on the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Agency Bill was on Tuesday laid before the House of Representatives. This comes a week after the senators accused the lower chamber of hindering the progress of the bill by not attending scheduled meeting of the conference to fine-tune the bill. The bill seeks to make Nigeria's Financial Intelligence Unit, currently under the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, totally independent. Senate President Bukola Saraki had on Sunday, in a social media message, assured that the bill will be passed this week. Liberia's President George Weah has sought the assistance of the Nigerian government as he attempts to rebuild Liberia's economy. The former Ballon d'Or winner made a plea while addressing newsmen at a meeting with Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday. He praised Nigeria's contribution to Liberia's democracy and asked for Nigeria's continued support.
Your Excellency, we need Nigeria's help to jumpstart our economy. You play a major role in bringing peace to Liberia. You reformed our army, and today it is performing its duty to the highest professional standard. As we speak, they are serving in a peacekeeping mission in Mali. You have also built and expanded the capacity of Liberians in so many ways. For example, during our recent observance of Armed Forces Day in Liberia, we were informed that 2 of our military personnel will soon be graduating as pilots from one of your esteemed institutions. We would like to see a continuation and expansion of that program for both men and women. My administration pro-port development agenda is intended to tackle the many economic and social problems that my government has inherited, especially in addressing the large fiscal and infrastructure deficit, the urgent problem of youth unemployment, and reviving the education, agriculture, mining, and health sector. Your sustained technical assistance for capacity building in this sector is most needed. For example, Nigeria teachers and medical volunteers to Liberia under the Technical Assistance Corps, TAC, agreement with Liberia have been very crucial in boosting capacity developing in Liberia. And it is my hope that this assistance can be considerably increased to address with urgency our most pressing socio-economic needs at this time.
It was a display of colors, art, and skills at the Lagos Theatre Festival. Founded by the British Council in 2013, the festival features performing arts from Nigeria and the UK. The week-long event, which held at the Freedom Park, Lagos Island, also featured paintings, arts and crafts, as well as poetry. It's a gathering of art lovers here at the 5th edition of the Lagos Theatre Festival. The event, put together by the British Council, projects Nigerian theatre alongside art and crafts in various dimensions. In the span of 1 week, theatre lovers at this festival are treated to over 100 shows.
Well, I have to salute British Council and Pulse Studios for 5th year of another successful theatre festival. It's just great to see practitioners from all across, I guess, Lagos and by extension parts of Nigeria who come out to figure out what they want to watch, you know, what they're interested in. So it's really nice. I think that it is probably reviving the theatre culture here, which obviously is very challenged on very many degrees. But I'm just happy that you do a theatre festival and you actually see that there are people who love theatre, basically.
This festival is to give theatre artists platform to express themselves. There are a lot of young people that want to do theatre. They want to, do dance, music, drama, a lot of talent. And this platform is the biggest platform in Nigeria, to give them that space. You can perform anywhere. There are over 40 producers, over 100 productions at this festival. I mean, that's amazing.
It's cool, it's great. Coming here as an artist, meeting people, doing my arts like the body face painting around. It's really interesting and tend to see different kind of arts, performance, and meet people and also know their opinion when it comes to art and different other aspects of the creativity everywhere.
Aside stage performances, the festival also features art exhibition and poetry performance. Among the unique artworks on display are these images created with just nails and thread. Self-taught artist Tayo, the man behind the sculpture, shares a bit of his knowledge with these amazed spectators.
I've been doing string now for about 3 years, and I ran into string, self-taught. String art basically is just nails and thread, that's all. Nails and thread on board, unlike the normal canvas you see and all that, or watercolor. No, string art is different. I could pass the same message, anybody, portrait, landscape, or whatever form of painting, but it's just I use string as a form of adding color.
Most people here come with the mindset of seeing plays, drama and paintings, but are surprised to see books as well. Rita here, who is a member of a book club, explains why books are important, even at this festival.
Art, drama, culture, whatever, they are all embedded in books. There's no book you pick to read that you wouldn't see an atom of an art, an atom of drama, an atom of culture, whatever, you get them inside the book. Your intellect gets to expand, you get to dive into another world, you get to read people's perspective of life, you get to see things in another way, you get to know things you didn't know existed before from reading.
The Nigerian theatre, according to many at this event, is undersubscribed. The organizers of the Lagos Theatre Festival hope the initiative would help fast-track its growth and boost the Nigerian economy. Fidelia Aguncha, TV360, Lagos.
People to get only 10 people to register to vote, 10 new voters. Each of us standing here today, when you get back home, when you get to your place of work, your school, try and get 10 new people that do not have their PPC to register to vote. We're going to take on our website onevoice.ng, onevoice.ng. Please go there, give us the information. If you get 10 people to vote, then you're amongst us.
So at least start with your voter's card and begin to use that to bargain about the type of person you want to see on February 16, 2019 and March 2nd on the ballot paper.
So we want to focus on people who haven't voted before. It's 100,000 people who are looking to pledge that because that gives us a minimum of 1 million new voters.
Instead of to say, my vote no go count now, try vote first, maybe see whether it will count, you know.
How work? Oh, correct, Oga. What is it that you are doing?
Oga, they come on the part now, make we go sell for.
Oga, na correct kuza be this so. Oga Titus and him boys them. They do am. They go come on the original parts, sell them, make plenty kusa. No wonder our customers bring the generator back to our workshop because they bad. And not because of stuff. Now because they overuse the generator. Plus say NEPA no they give them electricity. Before I open my eye, Makachuku look at my dog in the heaven. Replace this original generator parts back inside this generator of my customer. In short, before we do frog jump. One. Frog jump. 1, 2, 1. Stealing of generator parts or changing of original parts to a fake one. That is the corruption. Not in my country. Corruption not in my country. Stop corruption now.
Glad to have you back. The data mining efforts of the federal government through the Federal Ministry of Finance has identified a new batch of over 130,000 high net worth individuals and companies that have potential tax underpayment. The Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, who reviewed this on Tuesday, disclosed that the data was currently being compiled by Project Lighthouse in preparation for the closure of the ongoing Voluntary Asset and Income Declaration Scheme VADES, which ends on the 31st of March 2018. She advised non-compliant taxpayers to seek professional advice and to also consult relevant literature available from the tax authorities on tax rules. She underscored the federal government's commitment to raising tax revenues, which were essential to grow the economy and create jobs for Nigerians. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has announced that it has been able to reduce oil production to $20 per barrel. According to the corporation, additional measures have been put in place to further reduce the cost to $15 per barrel. The NNPC had announced in August last year that it had reduced the cost of crude oil production from $78 per barrel as of August 2015 to $23 per barrel, representing 70.5% reduction. The corporation also on Monday announced that it has signed 4 memoranda of understanding with state governments for the production of biofuel to complement the volume of petrol being supplied across the country. OPEC has appealed to U.S. shale producers to join their efforts to hold global prices at their current level at the CERAWeek conference in Houston. The appeal comes as the boom in shale continues to undermine OPEC's production curbs. The price of oil rose steadily throughout 2017 in the wake of an agreement between the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, and non-members, including Russia, to cut production by 1.8 million barrels a day. That surge in prices, however, boosted U.S. production sharply, which hit a record in November 2017 at more than 10 million barrels a day and is expected to surpass 11 million barrels a day later this year. Rising prices have U.S. shale producers pumping more, while OPEC has maintained its price cuts with output from members at a 10-month low. The International Organization for Migration, IOM, says at least 21 people are missing, presumed drowned, after a boat sank off the coast of North Africa while heading to Italy over the weekend. It says 72 survivors were brought ashore in Sicily on Tuesday by a merchant ship, but fears the number of dead could be higher. The IOM says migrant arrivals in Italy have gone down by 2/3 compared with last year, after the UN-backed government in Libya put pressure on people smugglers to stop boats leaving. Authorities in Mozambique's capital, Maputo, say they have demolished 150 houses near a rubbish dump which collapsed 2 weeks ago, killing at least 17 people, including children. They say demolition would continue in areas around the Hulena dump site, and a further 300 homes would be affected. The February 19 collapse happened after a pile of waste, some 15 meters high, gave way in rains. Some 150 families were left homeless following the incident. Liberian President George Weah has tipped Nigeria's Super Eagles to perform at the 2018 World Cup. The Super Eagles are one of Africa's 5 representatives to the World Cup. The 2013 African champions are in Group D alongside Argentina, Croatia, and Iceland. They begin with a game against Croatia and end the group stage against Argentina. Weah, who was speaking during a visit to Nigeria, also urged Nigerian sports authorities to ensure the Eagles are properly motivated for the tournament.
Nigeria team is a model. We all follow them. I've played with great Nigerian players. I play against them. Now you have a new generation. The fact that they qualify is a good thing for Nigeria. But I hope that they will prepare very early because they're going to represent Africa and we'll be there to watch them, for them to bring the trophy for the first time, if it's possible. But I think the seriousness to go to World Cup is not just to pay players to go. And I want for every African government to know. You know, if you win World Cup, it's a pride for Africa. It's not just for Nigeria. So we must do everything that the players are having a mind of no stress. What I mean, make sure that if given to them, it should be given to them to motivate them. Some of the things you see in World Cup, you have a whole nation go represent the country, and you hear that, oh, one minister took the money, he cannot pay this player, and the players are causing problems. No, when players go into camp, it's relaxation, it's focusing, and for them to camp, they must have everything there for them not to worry.
Italian authorities have confirmed that they have opened manslaughter proceedings into the death of Fiorentina captain David Astori. The 31-year-old Italy international centre-back died on the night of Saturday into Sunday, which was the eve of his team's Serie A trip to Udinese, currently postponed. Police are now set to investigate the death, the cause of which is currently unknown. Under Italian law, the only way an autopsy could take place on Astori in order to discover the cause of death was to open such a case. Serena Williams will make her first singles appearance on the WTA Tour since the Australian Open in 2017 in the opening round at Indian Wells on Thursday. The mother of one who says she is motivated by her daughter being able to watch her in action played her last competitive singles match when she beat her sister Venus in the final of the Australian Open over 13 months ago. The 23-time Grand Slam singles winner gave birth on September 1st and has been working her way back to fitness. She was back in action alongside her sister Venus in a doubles match at the Fed Cup on February 11, 2018. Well, that's it on News Now. Many thanks for watching. I am Fidelia Aguncha.